Hi, I'm Judy Jones, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a yummy, delicious seafood pasta sauce. And I apologize in advance if this video looks like it's pieced together, because it is pieced together. I've actually already made the meal and now I'm doing the introduction. And the reason being is because I decided last minute that this recipe was worthy of posting. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I have posted several pictures of tomatoes, and I know that sounds weird, but for some reason this summer I just have had an abundance of tomatoes, and I have just been going nuts trying to figure out what to do with all my tomatoes. So I have made spaghetti sauce, I have pureed them, I have chopped them up, cleaned them up, and put them in freezer bags. And so the other day I was looking at a couple tomatoes that I had here on my counter, and I decided, you know what, I want to make a sauce, but not a meat sauce, not a chicken sauce. I want to make a seafood sauce. And so I had a bag in my freezer of seafood melody blend. So I decided I was going to record it, and if it came out good, then I would post it, and if it didn't, then I would something else. But needless to say that it came out delicious, and me and my daughter both enjoyed the dinner, and so that's why I'm sharing it with you today. And I do want to add that if you do not like an intense seafood flavor, you're not into eating squid and a variety of seafood, then I would just use whatever seafood that you enjoy eating. So sorry that I'm talking so much and that I'm talking so fast. Let's go over all of the ingredients that I use to make this.
And I have here 3 tomatoes, half of a small white onion, 4 cloves of garlic, 3 scallions if you're using the whole scallion, and 4 scallions if you're only using the green part, a handful of fresh basil, some Parmesan cheese, some white cooking wine or any wine of your choice, and some heavy cream. And I'm also going to be using tomato paste. In that glass jar I have oregano, Italian seasoning, and sea salt, pepper. And as far as pasta, I love using the fettuccine pasta, but you can use whatever pasta you like. I'm also going to be using about almost a pound of the seafood Medley blend. And you can see here I've already chopped up all of my ingredients. Okay, so here are my 3 tomatoes already diced up, but I decided last minute that I'm going to use a 4th tomato. So I'm just going to show you how I remove most of the seeds out of the tomato. Now this won't remove absolutely every single seed, but it will remove most of them. Next, we're going to drizzle a nice amount of olive oil into our pan. Okay, and to that we're going to be adding our white onion and our garlic. And we're just going to cook that for a couple minutes. Now we're going to be adding our basil and our scallions. Now I have allowed these ingredients here to cook for about 5 minutes before adding the white wine. And then once I add the white wine, I'm going to let it cook for another 5 minutes. Next, we're going to add our diced tomatoes. And I'm just going to give this a good mix. And I am going to pop my lid on, and I'm going to cook this on medium-low for about 15 minutes. And while that's cooking, I'm going to be making my pasta. So once your 15 minutes is up, it should look like this. We're going to be adding our seafood blend to this. And like I said before, if you're not into eating all of the different types of seafood that comes in this blend, you can just use the seafood that you enjoy eating. And I'm just going to give this a good mix. And once you've given this a good mix, what we're going to do is we're going to pop our lid back on and cook this for another 5 minutes. Next, we're going to add our salt and our pepper to taste. Now, it may look like I am adding tons and tons of salt, but I really am not. It's just, I don't get a lot that comes out when I use these. And next we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I'm just going to continue to mix this around until all of the tomato paste is blended into the sauce. And next we're going to add the rest of our seasonings, which is the Italian seasoning and the oregano. And I'm going to pop a lid on this and we are going to cook that for another 6 minutes on medium. After your 6 minutes are up, we are going to be adding our heavy cream. Now once you've added your heavy cream, you are going to let this cook for just a couple minutes because the sauce is going to thicken up, and it pretty much thickens up really fast. And we pretty much are done. Now our sauce is pretty much done. All I'm going to do is add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I'm not going to put too much because I don't want to overpower it with the Parmesan cheese, but just a light sprinkle. I do like to serve this with Parmesan cheese on top. That's why I don't like to do a lot when I put it into the sauce. Then you just want to give it a good mix, and it's pretty much done. Okay, so this part is totally optional. You can serve your pasta and your sauce on top, but I just love putting my pasta into the pan while it's still nice and warm. And what I do is I like to allow it to sit on the pan. I've already turned off my stove, but my pan is nice and hot, and I'm just going to allow this to sit for about 5 minutes just so that the pasta soaks up all of those juices, and it just, to me, it's just adds so much flavor. And there you go, your seafood pasta sauce is now done and ready to be served. Now, I wasn't able to do the taste test on camera, but I can tell you that it was delicious. Me and my daughter both enjoyed this meal, so I really hope that you try this out. And bon appetit! Enjoy!
Okay, so my food for thought for this week is another passage out of the Max Lucado book, because I love these devotionals. And I am going to read one of the verses. There's 3 verses to every passage, but I'm going to read one of the verses because I think this verse best pertains to the passage. And it is Matthew 5:9. Those who work to bring peace are happy because God will call them His children. And the passage I'm reading is titled Conflict, and it goes on to read, Want to see a miracle? Plant a word of love hard deep in a person's life. Nature it with a smile and a prayer and watch what happens. An employee gets a compliment a wife receives a bouquet of flowers. Sowing seeds of peace is like sowing beans. You don't know why it works, you just know it does. Seeds are planted and topsoils of hurt are shoved away. Jesus modeled this. We don't see him settling many disputes or negotiating conflicts, but we do see him cultivating inward harmony through acts of love. He built bridges by healing hurts. He prevented conflict by touching the interior. He cultivated harmony by sowing seeds of peace in fertile hearts. And I just think that's perfect for the time that we're living in today. You turn on the news and all you see is conflict. I think it's just discouraging sometimes. And I think that sometimes we just have a hard time being positive and being loving in our ways of communication, especially through social media, because I've just seen so much on social media. And you know, that includes me, because I have been guilty of setting my opinions on things online as well. But I think sometimes we just need to be careful. You know, we need to be watchful. We need to really examine ourselves and dig deep into our hearts before we communicate our opinions that can be very strong opinions to other people, because we don't want to come off as being hurtful or offensive. We want to keep in mind that we are representing Christ, and that is what's more important here, rather than all of the things that are going on that we don't agree with. We want to represent God, and God is all about peace. God is all about loving our neighbors and trying to make peace and trying to get along. So let's not entertain negative thoughts, and let's not feed into all of the chaos that's going on all around us. Let's be wise and watchful of the things that we say, because we can't take words back. And that's the truth, guys. We can't take words back. And that's my food for thought for this week. I hope that you have a fabulous, awesome, blessed week, and I will see you next time.
About tomorrow.